Yo, what's good, y'all? This is 2RealSports. We keep it way too real. My fault, I should say Big Av's parts. I don't really know him. He'll be here in any second. But we're going to get into this episode where we talking about the preview of the NFL season. I've got my CBS and NFL hat. Thank you to my guy, Tony. You know what I'm saying? And this is like the beautiful time of the year. You know, it begins the trifecta. You know, baseball still going on, basketball around the corner, but football is here, the American sport. We love it. So let's just get into the obvious, right? The AFC East, right? Okay, the Bills, Dolphins, Pats, Jets. I mean, it's ridiculous the dominance the Pats have. That's probably the worst division in any sport. It's been so lopsided for so many years. I think Belichick and Brady, since they've been together, have they ever missed the playoffs? It might have been twice. I'm not sure. I know the 1 year Brady was injured and then blah, 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 right? If we talk about the Dolphins, right, I actually like Josh Rosen over there, right? He was a pickup that I really liked in UCLA. It was between him and Sam Darnold, and I actually liked him a little bit better. They have Fitzpatrick, I see, officially starting, right? They've named him the starter. I don't know why you just keep going down this Fitzpatrick roller coaster. It's the same thing over and over and over again. You know, he's got a few good games that gets him a contract to the next year, and then a bunch of nothing, right? Drake, very good back. Not still sure what he is. He's more like a big play back than every down back. Kenny Stills is another guy, you know, who's unfortunately recently just been more into non-football things than football things, you know. So, but shout out Coach Brian Flores. I'm actually rooting for him. Brian Flores, he's a New Yorker. He's out here from Brooklyn, came under Bill Belichick. So I'm actually rooting for him because he's a New Yorker, but no hope in them, right? Then we got the Jets, right? Everyone loves Sam Darnold. Everyone loves him. I don't see it. I don't see what everybody sees. I mean, he seems pretty good. He was supposed to be from a player football focus standpoint. What was it? The best quarterback in the last 4 weeks. I don't know what that necessarily means, but I don't love him like that. He still's got to show me this. And then Le'Veon, I believe Le'Veon is just at the end of his rope. No, I think we're in the wrong. It's all good. Le'Veon is I believe, at the end of his rope as far as being a premier back in the NFL, right? He's still going to be Le'Veon. He's still going to have flashes, showed him. But I think he's just had, he's more into rapping and things like that. And I ain't mad at it. I love it. I love when athletes do more than just be an athlete. But Le'Veon being a premier back, I don't see it. He got his money, and that's about it. And then Bills, Josh Allen. We'll see second-year player Josh Allen. I actually still didn't forget that racist shit you said or tweeted or whatever, or the numerous racist things you tweeted. So he's a guy I'm just not rooting for. I'll never forget that. McCoy, I know McCoy was trying to get up out of there. I guess no buyers. And then Beasley. Me being a Cowboy fan, me and Beasley have a lot of history. That was my man. And I loved with a D, Beasley, but yeah, he's not here. My brother.
It's about to get real unapologetic.
Yeah, I just said I told him you was right around. I just got to the AFC East, the most obvious one, right? And I just started giving them a little bit info about the Pats, Jets, Bills, right? And then the Pats, of course, we know my choice, to win a division, right? Brady, Josh Gordon, Edelman. Demaryius Thomas, I forgot he was there. I think he had an Achilles injury towards the end of the year.
Forgot he was there for all the right reasons.
Yeah, he's a big time back. He's a big time wide receiver.
He was, and then he's getting longer in the tooth, and he's coming off Achilles injuries.
Yeah, but he's a weapon. I'll put him there. Josh Gordon, he's a weapon. Patriots, they don't need big time receivers.
Absolutely,
they just kind of need weapons. And let's see how they replace the tight end position. With Gronk not being there. That's the big thing, because that's a big part of their offense.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, who you got winning that. Who you got winning that? That was stupid.
I mean, I was just gonna like do what I did again last year, just put Brady and Belichick and just that's it.
Yeah.
But like, it's a different dynamic this year because Brady is still Brady, but he's not Brady. You know, like you know, we've been sparring for all summer with these football stuff, and yes, you are right. Brady had like the Patriots do a lot of running, and this year they're gonna do even more running than they ever done. I think in the entire era of the Brady Belichick era, and they're gonna do a lot of running with Sony Michel. James White's gonna be catching a lot of catching the backfield. Even Rex Burkhead is gonna get a little bit. But they also drafted what's his name? Damian Harris. I hope I'm not messing up his name, but
Is that the wide receiver they drafted in the
Nah,
first?
it was a running back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
They drafted another running back.
I don't care. You know, receivers the Patriots gonna have the first pick and draft the wide receiver and had Tom Brady. I still wouldn't care. I can't remember any young wide receiver playing.
No, that's the first time they've done it in the first round.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right. And what's his name? Nikhil Harry. That's his name.
I'm actually wondering what makes him so special to be, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. And then they lost the D coordinator. Shout out to BK not Rob. I keep on saying Rob Flores. Brian Flores.
Yeah.
To the Dolphins head coach vacancy. And I read
out of Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out BK. Came from BK's best borough when it comes to football in the city. Hands down.
They don't only borough when it comes to football in the city. Shout out Samuels too from the Panthers. He from BK.
And with that being said, and his replacement, Greg Schiano, he quit. He just up and just straight up quit and I forgot. So it's left a lot of vacancies. And then Belichick said he's going to be more involved with the defense than he has been in recent years. And I don't know if the NFL wants Belichick to be a defensive coordinator again.
I mean, I look at Belichick kind of like their defensive coordinator.
He was anyway, right?
Yeah, you know how it goes when it's a head coach. Usually you one side of the ball more than the other, and you kind of pretty much that coordinator.
Nah, I feel you, but Flores got a job off that. He got a head coaching job from. So
but he was I believe he was the linebacker coach.
Just linebacker coach?
But he also called defensive plays.
Okay.
But I think he was their linebacker coach there. But being under Belichick, you're gonna get a job.
Yeah, but and then they got a strong secondary. They secondary is probably arguably one of the best in the game with Chung. Gilmore and
Chung gonna miss a couple games. That booger sugar.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man, he gonna miss a couple games.
But I think the Cole and Devin McCourney they'll hold it down to
yeah.
And they drafted and like they drafted another one early too. So they deep, man. And then and it's not like they get a whole lot of pass, they get a lot of sacks, but they put a lot of pressure on the cornerback. It's gonna be a solid defense. It's always gonna finish out in the top 10 within the year. And with all the running and Brady still being there, and just within the division, everybody else. But as far as the Bills and the Jets, even though I think the Jets gonna improve, and the Dolphins who's gonna just tank or whatever they're gonna do this year, I got the Patriots again coming out of that division.
Yeah, I know. It's pathetic, man. It's crazy how all other three teams could be so bad for so long. What other division you want to tackle next?
Yeah, I might as well stay in the AFC and head on right down to the South.
We're going to that AFC South. Let me get to my notes. See,
I know. I'm telling you, man. I'm about to shock the world. I understand Andrew Luck. I came from my initial reaction to Andrew Luck. It wasn't too nice. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't too nice. I misread quotes. I misread. I don't know. I may have dyslexia sometimes when I want to see what I see.
We all do.
And I read that he was taking a break from mental fatigue, and I'm like, no, yeah, come on, man, come on. But obviously, it's not that.
It is mental fatigue to an extent. He's tired of the rehabbing and it's probably a lot of, when you that great of a player and you put these high expectations on yourself, and then you don't reach them. It's tough on the brain. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's probably tired of being. So it is mentally. He's tired of being disappointed. He's tired of putting in all that work and then just to get injured again. So it is a mental thing.
But this is a team that won 9 of the last 10 games last year. Last 10 games, and I thought coming into this year that they were ready. Mm-hmm. I thought they was gonna be ready with Andrew Luck leading the way, but unfortunately, he's gonna. I can't knock him. He's gonna do his best for him, and he's not playing the game no more. I mean, you know me, like the more my selfish reasoning was being mad at him because I'm a football fan. I'm a diehard football fan. I was selfish and like I'm not gonna see competitive football no more. Who want to see that caliber of team going against Brady or Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs or throughout the season? So that take it away from me. But Jacoby Brissett, like he's no Andrew Luck, but he's gonna do just fine. Like I think he's gonna do fine considering what kind of team he has surrounded with him. He has a lot of help, and they O-line is pretty damn good. They have they drafted a rookie last year who's a first teamer who's an All-Pro his rookie year, and the O-line. There's one old lineman that's 31 years old. The rest is 23, 24, 26, and 23.
Yeah, they just drafted all of those kids pretty much.
And they got a nice little core. So they have something intact that's going to be good for a few years. And then around that, with that old line, they have a running back in Marlon Mack who was tearing shit up towards the end of the year. I think he's going to come in, and then he's going to be a major part because, they're not going to have Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball as much as Andrew Luck. They're gonna have to balance it out. And I think with that old line and Marlon Mack and his skills, and then Mahomes catching passes out the backfield, and they go about their defense. Their defense they're already solid. They added Justin Houston from the Chiefs to help them with the pass rush. No, was it Justin Houston? It was Justin Houston, not defense. They added Justin Houston, and I hate to do this, but they have the best linebacker in the NFL, man. He's better than Jalen Smith. I know Jalen Smith is in NFC East. Have anything to do with the AFC.
What about Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner?
My fault. They have the best young linebacker in the NFL. And that's Darius Leonard. He's not a household name, but he better be this. He's gonna be this shit.
Nah, he's a big time kid.
Yeah, but he's gotta have absolutely first team All Pro. Yeah, that's two rookies on the first team on All Pro. That's pretty damn good. So I don't know who's making draft tricks for the Colts, but they doing pretty good. And I think the Colts is gonna sit there. They already beat the skin off the Texans last year in the playoffs. I don't see the who was in that division? The Jaguars. Hell, Nick Foles. Like, all right, fine. He did what he did in the Eagles, but I'm not sold on Nick Foles. I'm not sold on Nick Foles bringing them to the promised land. And so I still got the Colts coming out of that division doing big things. And T.Y. Hilton dedicated this season to Andrew Luck. You know how football magic is going to do. You know how the locker room is going to do. I feel it. I just feel the magic within this locker room and the team, the football guards. Everything's aligning for a big surprise, great season from this team. And I'm riding with them. Riding with the Colts and Brissett, man. Darius Leonard. Jalen Smith.
If I go through that division, right? So Deshaun Watson and D-Hop, one of the most dangerous tandems in the NFL, right? The problem is no Clowney if he doesn't play. And, obviously I just seen reports today. He's saying it's always funny when reports say the player's telling people that he will sit. Who's people? How many people did you talk to? And those people to say the player's telling people he will sit out the whole year. But I don't think that happened, but I think they will probably get a trade. I see the Dolphins is leading with the trade, right? So no Clowney. Lamar Miller, unfortunately, hurt himself in his first carry against my Cowboys. Malik Collins, we'll get to him, though. He's going to have a huge year. But Duke Johnson is luckily over there. So I don't think they're too far apart from each other, but I don't know if Duke Johnson can be your one. Right, and then they just have a bad O-line. So between a bad O-line and in their defense, Deshaun Watson just holding the ball too long is just disaster over there, right?
Well, you obviously saw them play against the Cowboys in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yo, they took him out. They didn't want to take him out that early.
No, it was Deshaun's fault.
No,
it was. That time it was Deshaun's fault.
They were utilizing that old. They was getting past every single. He couldn't
if the play he fumbled, and it was another he took a hit I think before that. But the play he fumbled, he should have threw it away.
Now my point was Brian. I know O'Brien seen he seen enough. He yanked them ASAP. He said enough of this shit. I think that O-line is gonna be a real issue this year.
No, I do, but I think they both are an issue. So it's that O-line plus him holding the ball too long. He just I think on that play he did when the QB does the 3 bounce and then he just had the time to stand there for a while and then that's when they caught his ass.
You doing 3 step back, you gotta let that thing go.
Yeah, so I got them out of the playoffs. The Jags, right? I don't trust Nick Foles with expectations. Nick Foles with no expectations is a great quarterback. Nick Foles with expectations is a bad quarterback. Funny enough, we were just talking about Andrew Luck and leaving the game. Remember, Nick Foles did the same thing without the injuries. Remember,
he did?
Yeah, he retired, and then Andy Reid brought him back. But he retired right when he was getting expectations. He had that bad year, and then he retired and all. So Nick Foles, no expectations. The Jags D still is gonna be the Jags D. You know, I love AJ over there, of course. Why am I forgetting my man's name? We'll talk all day. Jalen Ramsey. And then just a bunch of studs all over there, but they just don't have enough weapons on offense. We get to the Colts. Now, I'm with you, my brother, like always. I am actually high on Jacoby Brissett. Of course, he's not better than Andrew Luck. But to me, he is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Even before this happened, I thought he was a starter in the NFL. So like you said, you know, they still, I ain't even going to have to reiterate the names. They still got all the names there. They still got that linebacker there. So I think in this division, they still have the most talent. And that O-line, like you said, has become good to great with all those young players. Just a little too late before Andrew Luck. But, you know, they finally got themselves an O-line.
And my bad, just to add real quick about the Colts, they got 20 of they 22 starters and 34 they 40 players who play at least 200 snaps all on offense, defense, all coming back next year.
So you know that's great. You always want that. That.
Especially nowadays in this era, where everybody's leaving after 3 seconds. Like you got a team that came back like that and finished won 9 games out of the last 10. Nice little squad they got there, man.
And I like the Titans for the fact that Marcus Mariota is the quarterback I never loved him in college. The kid just wins. I don't know, but he just wins football games. I like their dual backs there with Henry and Lewis, right? They got Adam Humphries there, a good possession wide receiver, gonna get you some first downs. Best safety in the game with Bird, you know what I'm saying? And the good thing is, you know, Mariota misses games, right? He's one of them guys. He does, you know, running and everything. He misses a game or two. So they got Tannehill there. You can still run the same kind of offense. Tannehill is good enough to win you a game or two. Yeah. So I actually kind of like them. We'll get to wild cards later. Hint, hint. So yeah. You said you got the Colts. I got the Colts. My brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
what division we hitting up next?
Might as well keep it in the AFC. Go to the AFC North.
The North?
Listen, man. Big Ben watches the show, man. I'm telling you. He got something for you this year, man. Big Ben is coming back with a nice little vengeance. He coming back with the same squad pretty much. He got another year with Juju experience. Even though he's experienced, this would be his first year at the one. I don't think he'll be just fine. They added Dante Moncrief. What was he on the Panthers, right? Or was he on the Colts? I don't know, but they added Dante Moncrief. He's a serviceable wide receiver. And you add him along there, put him next to a wide receiver like Juju, give him a QB like Big Ben. I think he'll, let's not say thrive. I think he'll just be just fine within the offense. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention in preseason, but James Washington, he's supposed to nice. He's been looking real good for them in a nice little
No,
deep
I haven't.
But there's a dude named James Washington. Listen, I'm not gonna say like certain players I'm gonna talk about, but get the fantasy value too. We not just here for the end of the entire regular season. We here for some fantasy value too. And if you need a wide receiver in the late round and you need to fill that void, go get James Washington, man. Yeah, he's gonna be big. He's gonna be on a high power offense with James Conner at running back, with Big Ben throwing 5,000 yards again and probably again. The Steelers going to be fun. And I think they finally drafted Ryan Shazier's replacement in Devin Bush. Devin Bush is a mammoth linebacker out of he went to Michigan, right?
Yeah, he is.
He went to Michigan, and I think he's going to fill that void just nice. And he takes up a lot of the field. So everybody else who's on the Steelers, like, their secondary is kind of but they got some names in there. But he's going to allow people to stay in he covers so much field, he's going to allow other players on the defense to be more in their area. They don't got to sit there and do extra shit. So I think if he pans out to be, I think the Steelers defense will be right back, along with the Cam Hayward still on the D-line, TJ White and D-line. They got a nice, solid team. And like I said, James Conner, he you already know what, and all the distractions too. AB going. Le'Veon going, all that contract, nothing that we focus.
All the talent.
We got vengeance. But listen,
all the talent.
But listen,
I don't care about distractions.
And I'm glad you said that, because I even took it back to Sterling motherfucking Sharp all the way from Green Bay. He leaves next season, Green Bay improves. Morse, next season, Vikings improves. T.O. leaves. Next season, Cowboys improve. Odell going this year, the Giants are going to improve. You best to believe.
Any of those teams win a Super Bowl?
Did they win the Super Bowl? No, but they improved, though. They improved. And then the Steelers were 9-6-1 last year. Their improvement could get them right back in the place in which they missed. They're going to prove this year. Just like history goes and repeats itself.
I like talent.
I'm going with the Steelers to win this division. Hands down, winning this division. I don't think it's going to be close. They got a lot of vengeance on their mind. Big Man watches the show, and he's tired of your crap.
I actually think this is going to be one of the tougher divisions. I think no one in this division is great. They're all kind of bunched up. I think somebody probably will win this division off a tiebreaker, right? So get to your Steelers. Steelers, to me, will be one of the most disappointing teams in the league.
Oh, yeah.
A METRI Damas moment.
Oh, yeah.
Tomlin will not be there next year. You can book it. He will be on a different team by this time next year, whether he be fired or whether he leaves on his own, but his time in Pittsburgh is done. They are going to miss AB. AB, well, one can make the distraction, even though I don't look at it like that at all. Big Ben has really been the distraction. None of this would be happening if Big Ben, was not calling people out.
Yeah, he plays his part.
They're not every other day, I apologize, I don't apologize, yada, yada, yada. So we're not even going to get into all that. So I think they'll be one of the most disappointing teams. They will miss all that talent there. It's just you can't just lose two great players like that and just think you're going to be better. Juju, who I like, you still have to prove that you're number one. The Ravens, I'm actually very high on Lamar Jackson. And I'm high on him as a passer. The NFL world will find out this year that the kid can pass the ball. I mean, if you haven't watched the kid in college, he can pass the rock. The only problem there is too many starters on the defense have gone. I think it's like 7 to 8 starters they lost.
Ridiculous, man.
And so I really wanted to pick them, but that's just too much, right? So the Bengals, funny enough, the Bengals is going to be one of my surprise teams, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Now, what we forget about the Bengals is the Bengals last year was in first place before injuries. They were running that division somewhat before injuries. Now, A.J. Green is already injured. He's already not going to play week 1.
Shit, he ain't going to play half the season.
Yeah. Well, it's an ankle injury, so but the kid Boyd over there, he's stepped into that. He started stepping into that the second half of the season for the Bengals, showing that he could be a one talent. They actually got a kid from Last Chance U, so I'm rooting for him. He's actually going to start in place of AJ, so I'm rooting for him. Dunlap and Atkins, they're studs on the the D line. They got a solid tight end. So I actually still think they're going to have a decent, surprising year. And the Browns, I have winning the division on default. I actually think – no, excuse me. I'm actually picking the Bengals to win this division. I take that back. They're going to be my surprise team. The Browns, I'm going to just get right into it. I got them at the wild card. The Browns is just oozing with talent. It's just so much talent. You just don't have to name it. It's just talent on both sides of the ball all over the place. The problem, I think, with the Browns this year will be Baker Mayfield and that first-year head coach. Baker Mayfield treats that head coach like it's his friend. Like, there's no real coach-player relationship, and that's why the guy got the job. He's not qualified to be a head coach. I think that's just too much for him to deal with for a first head coaching job. And though I like Baker and I like his attitude, sports gods must humble him, but they're just too talented to be out of the playoffs, so they're going to be the wild card.
They ain't gonna be the wild card. They all line is shaky, and I think Baker he's biting off a little bit more than you can chew now. Because let's relax, Baker. You haven't beat anybody in the NFL. You're 1-5 against playoff teams, and that plum playoff team you beat, you won 12-9. It was early in the season before Lamar Jackson came in, and now it's against the Ravens. You need to calm down. You need to focus. A lot of noise coming out of there. I like my training camps nice and quiet. There's a lot of chatter and click clack. I mean, rightfully so though. Rightfully so, but it's still Cleveland, and it's in the I don't know what they have done in recent history to show that they did all something just because they got the talent now. It's also they gonna put it together. Nah, this NFC, this NFL is a hard league. It's a hard league, and you're gonna have some people coming out here that are gonna not liking all this noise they talking, all this, especially Baker, and especially with that O-line that's kind of shaky.
Nah, Baker going back up.
I mean, I like him. Listen, I like him, but you need to slow down, partner.
Yeah, I think he'll be humble, but at the end of the day, he's not weak-minded. So anybody coming at him or anything like that, he's not affected by that. I'm actually gonna go piggyback something you said. You said Baker's 1-5, right, from playoff teams?
Yes.
So let's go to the AFC West, right? And I want to start this off with the Chiefs. I'm going to make my run through. But one thing about the Chiefs is crazy, right? Everyone loves Pat Mahomes, and I like him, but I'm not falling into love like with everyone else, right? But as I'm doing my research yesterday, you know, one of the points I've always made was that they lost to all the top teams. That's a red flag for me. So anytime you play one of the top teams. But then when I really looked at it, he lost to all playoff teams. Only playoff team they beat was the Ravens. And they beat the Ravens kind of fluky, you know, on some like last second. So Pat Mahomes lost to every single playoff team he played last year.
What were the Chiefs record last year?
They were what? Were they 12-4?
12-4. So you're telling me all 12 of those wins were non-playoff teams?
Non-playoff teams.
I'll
give you this.
That out, man.
I'll give you this.
I don't know how when they was last the year previously they did good. What kind of schedule would they have if they made the playoffs? You know, like the previous year before.
They split. I'll be honest. They split with the Chargers. That's the only. Everyone else they lost to, and they beat the Ravens, but they beat the Ravens kind of fluky, and they split with the Chargers. But besides that, every single playoff team, all their other losses was playoff teams. So if we're going to keep that energy with Baker, we got to say these same things about Pat Mahomes.
The Chiefs were in the AFC Championship game last year. I don't want to
They had a bye. It's not like they beat two people. They only had one win.
Now we're going to downplay the Chiefs. We're going to say, oh, he lost. He lost in the regular season but in the playoffs, he won a playoff game.
He won one playoff game. That's not a...
He won enough games to be the number one. That's what happens when you're the number one seed. You get the bye. So we're not going to sit there and bring that up.
But why is it a big deal that Baker's 1-5 and not Pat Mahomes?
I think that's impossible for you to play 12 non-playoff teams.
Look it up. Look it up right now. Look it up right now this second. So,
but regardless, he was 12-4 and made the playoffs. Baker wasn't. You didn't do that. You didn't do that.
Baker didn't play the whole year.
Hey,
Baker didn't play. If you think Baker didn't play, if you think they missed the playoffs by one game, if Baker plays the whole year, they're going to the playoffs.
You know what? He's playing all games this year.
They're going to the playoffs.
He's playing all the games this year. I can't wait. They're not making it.
So, you know, like I said, that's a big red flag for me. No Kareem Hunt. Let's see. So I actually have them missing the playoffs. Broncos is an intriguing team for me because they have a lot of veteran talent there. Joe Flacco's there. Let's see how this works out because low-key Elway's becoming Jordan of the NFL. Elway's not been able to pick a quarterback yet. He won. Peyton Manning kind of saved his GM career. But besides that, Elway has been very disappointing. Philip Lindsay, let's see if he can do it again. I like the kid, but he kind of just came out of nowhere last year. Emmanuel Sanders, back after 8 months from Achilles. That's a big deal. Bradley Chubb, another METRI moment. Bradley Chubb will get Von Miller traded next year. The kid is big time. He's a stud. And so they'll get rid of Von Miller because they don't feel like they'll have to pay both. But I'm just not sure. Sutton is another wide receiver I like, but I'm just not sure about them. Then we got the Raiders. I like Terrell Williams there. Gruden, who's like becoming their star. He's becoming their star player. AB, who I love. Josh Jackson, who a lot of people love coming out of college, and actually since high school, he's been like a big-time name. And then they also another team that got talent all over the place. Richie Incognito, Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, Joyner, the safety there, Vontez Burfict, he's over there. So it's crazy, but I'm going to go with the Chargers out that division. The one thing that just scares me is Derwin James, one of the best safeties in the game, is already on IR. Just like Joey Bosa last year.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, his foot. So just like Joey Bosa last year, they just already kind of starting off to a wrong point. We know the running back. We don't know what's going to happen with that situation. But Phillip Rivers and still a team with a lot of talent. I like their coach a lot. I still got them winning the division.
Well, and then the Chiefs, like I'm not even gonna talk about. I'm not talking about the Raiders for what. I don't see anything coming out of them. Let's just say with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have one of the most prolific offenses in the whole entire NFL. I think, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the NFL in Andy Reid. Andy Reid has produced a top 5 running back since fucking the Brian Westbrook days in the Eagles. I think Damian Williams gonna come right in. I think he's better than Kareem Hunt. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt is more of a product in his environment than his actual skill set. But hey, I may be wrong on that, but that's my opinion on that so far. But I think Damian Williams is gonna come in and have a good old Andy Reid running back top 5 year. If you playing fantasy, you might want to grab him up. Now I see him going a lot of third, second rounds. You might want to not do that. And they also picked up Frank Clark. They like I said, they lost D Ford. They lost Justin Houston. Nice little pass rush tandem there. But they picked up Frank Clark from the Seahawks, who had 13 sacks next year. So hopefully he'll fill that void. And we all know. Oh yeah, they picked up the Honey Badger too. My man Teron Monty got there too. So that's a great pickup for that secondary. But honestly, at the end of the day, the Chiefs defense they had not been good. They especially not since Andy Reid got. They wasn't good last year. I'm not sure how good they're gonna be this year. They don't have to sit here, and lead the league in sacks. You don't have to lead the league in interceptions and all this other stuff. They have to play situational good defense, get off the field on third downs, stop teams from scoring defense, stop teams from scoring TDs in the red zone, and they'll be just fine because that offense is prolific. Pat Mahomes is not going to have 50 touchdowns again this year, but he'll have about 40 something. He still have about 5,000 yards. So I still got the Chiefs coming out of that division, hands down.
And just side note, I got the Raiders coming out of wild card. A lot of talent over there. Let's get to the NFC East, right? So I'm gonna just zoom through this real quick. Giants, I'm just waiting on Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones did everything he was supposed to do in preseason, but it's preseason. So waiting on that. Washington, same thing with Haskins, just kind of waiting on Haskins, even though I can see him sitting out the whole year because Case Keenum, to me, is an average, slightly above average quarterback. The Eagles, now I just want to talk about this real quick, right? The Eagles and Carson Wentz and Dak. This is just crazy. One of the things, I don't know why everyone loves Carson Wentz. I don't know why all summer I have to hear about him and how much of a better quarterback he is than Dak. So real quick, I'm just going to just break that because he has not one stat better than Dak. But let me just highlight just some of the narratives, right?
It's not true, yo.
No, he has not one stat higher.
It's not true.
So let's just highlight the narratives, right? So I'm not even going to get into the details of QBR because Dak has a better QBR every year, right? And Wentz one year had a QBR of 49.4. Dak will never have that in his career, right? QBR. So if we think about Dak has 14 game winners, 18 comebacks. Carson Wentz has 4. How is this kid a big-time quarterback, right? Then last year, Carson Wentz went 5-6. So what the hell is everybody so Carson Wentzy? The kid went 5-6 last year. He went 5-6 on a team that was stacked, and as soon as he was replaced, they went to the playoffs. They was out of the playoffs with Carson Wentz. So as soon as he went there, so he had 2 losing seasons, 1 good season, and everyone loves Carson Wentz. Now this is like one of the funniest things to me, right, about the whole Carson Wentz thing. So you have this narrative, right, that people love these TV shows, so I'm just going to use Shannon Sharp, dinking and dacking. Dak averages 7.4 yards attempt for his career. Carson Wentz averages 7.1. What the hell is people do? Like, what? This is what I hate sometimes about, like, you know, these waves that get run about narratives of players because people act like they don't watch. So I have no clue what people I see in Carson Wentz because anything by any numbers, the kid is not that good. He is not that good. So, of course, I got the Cowboys winning that. I don't even have to get into all the studs on the Cowboys team.
I'm not going to sit here and make this get into Dak and Wentz thing, but Dak averaged those yards but has been in the league 4 years and has total of 6 300-yard pass games. And for the record, who was the Cowboys leading receptions in last year?
And, like, Actual receptions or
catches.
yards?
Who led the league Cowboys in catches?
Zeke.
The running back. So when you talk about dinking and dacking, that's why they talking about dinking and dacking. It's not like he's sitting down and he's throwing, like, let's get it.
But this is why this is so silly, because we can do this with every team. I bet you Connor probably led in receptions. I bet you Alvin Kamara probably led in receptions. I bet you one of those Patriot backs probably led in receptions. So you want to do that with all the other great quarterbacks, or you just want to do that with Dak?
No, I'm just doing it with Dak because I know for sure, 100% factual sure that Dak, his running back led them in catches last year. But anyway, you forgot to mention Carson Wentz is coming back from ACL injury. Last time Carson Wentz was seen healthy with that same team, he was an MVP candidate. He was a quarterback in the 9-1 Super Bowl team. They won the Super Bowl that year. They still did, but Carson was the MVP candidate. He was going to win the MVP.
He wasn't going to. He was an MVP candidate. He was
going to win the MVP that year.
All right, so
last time you saw him healthy, that's what you saw.
So just so we're very clear, Carson Wentz's MVP year wasn't better than Dak's MVP year.
MVP, yeah.
Yeah, the Dak's first year when he was an MVP candidate, I have the numbers here. We just don't have enough time to get into it. But it wasn't better than Dak. So there's literally no form in Wentz's career where he was ever better than Dak.
Who has more touchdowns?
Dak.
He has more career
Dak.
Oh, he played more games. All right. Let's leave that alone.
Well, no, he also has rushing touchdowns. So when you add total touchdowns,
no, I'm not talking about. I'm not throwing touchdowns. We're not talking about.
You can't. The game is the game.
We're not talking about.
The game is the game.
I'm talking specifically throwing touchdowns.
That doesn't matter. That's like saying a guard in the NBA.
Now we know why that QBR is always
threes?
up where it's at. Now see how we add that into the QBR. We're not talking about that. I'm just talking about throwing. But anyway, I still got the Eagles coming out of the division. They still got that. They still have that stout O-line. They got that stout D-line led by Fletcher Cox. And Fletcher Cox, I swear, if it wasn't for Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox is the second best interior D lineman in the entire NFL. I've been watching this savage for the last 5 or 6 years, 2 games a year, obliterate the New York Giants and just obliterate anybody who's in front of him. If Aaron Donald was not in the NFL or the caliber player he was, Fletcher Cox would be a household name. Everybody know him. He had his all-pro lineman last year, and like I said, they have everybody on offense. They had a nice rookie running back, Miles Sanders. They just got Jordan Howard from the Bears. They have a nice receiving core, and Carson Wentz is going to be healthy this year. Look out.
I don't care if he's healthy. He's got 2 out of 3 losing seasons.
He was a rookie year, right? He was a rookie. He had a bad rookie year. That's cool. Next following year, came back and was having an MVP year, and then got hurt. And he came back last year, was hurt.
How was he hurt? He wasn't hurt.
He's coming back over torn ACL, man.
What does that mean? What does that? So you just told me.
Now you're gonna downplay an entire torn ACL.
What the? I don't.
He's
if
not
you're
100%.
on the field, what is the rule in sports?
Right.
If you're on the field, there's no excuses. I don't want to hear he had a torn ACL the year before.
You're absolutely right.
He didn't have a torn ACL last year.
He didn't have one this offseason.
And you just told me. Don't talk about Dak's legs and just talk about his arm. So what does his torn ACL have to do with his arm? Nothing. This is
amazing.
So it's just all right.
He didn't have all-season surgery this year. He'll be back fully healthy this year.
There's nothing. It's really the craziest thing all summer. This whole Wentz love.
I don't have the Cowboys making the playoffs. I don't have the Cowboys making the playoffs, man.
I understand. That's personal.
They have a great team. They have a great roster. They stacked. But they weakness is the most important position in the entire NFL. And that's the quarterback position.
I'm not even going to get it.
Weakness.
I'm not. But you love Carson Wentz.
It's a weakness.
So and somehow Baker's not. I don't get how the rules just go from whatever. The rules don't apply to everyone. I see. All right, NFC North, right? So Vikings is just way too stacked for me, right? They're just stacked at every position. Diggs, Thielen, Hunter, Griffin. I mean, just all over the place. Rose, Cooks is back. You just get safety Smith. It's just crazy how much talent they have. The Bears is a team I love for right now in the future. I just love them. I love Nagy. I love his play calling. I love what Mitch Trubisky is becoming with his play calling. That wide receiver group, no real studs, but a lot of playmakers. Let's see how Cohen does as being kind of the featured back, right? The Lions, Matt Stafford, right? They got talent. Their wide receiver group is really good. Marvin Jones, Galladay, Amendola, but Matthew Stafford, I just can't, right? C.J. Anderson over there now, but it might be a little too late for his career. He might have just got himself a new contract with the Rams, but I don't really trust him there. And then the Packers, right? Aaron Jones is back, but the big key is, can Rodgers stay healthy at this point, right? Collarbones are very tough, and so we just want to see if Rodgers can stay healthy. A first-year coach, I think him getting his coach fired will come back to haunt him. One of the best coaches in the league, man. So you just now replace him with this first-year coach, and let's see how they go. They didn't start off to the greatest start, so let's just see how they go. I got the Bears winning that division, and I got the Vikings winning the wild card, even though I don't love Kirk Cousins, but I love all the rest of the talent there.
Aaron Rodgers listens to the show, too. And he's tired of your crap, and he's coming back healthy with a nice little roster. Last time Aaron Rodgers had a defense, they won the Super Bowl. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers has the defense again. They got Darius Smith coming in from the Ravens. They got the Preston Smith coming in from Washington. So they got a nice little revamp with the pass rush. They drafted Rashawn Gary, shout out New Jersey. He went to Paramus. He's another nice linebacker. They have a defense. They have a defense now. They have Aaron Rodgers, and in the offense they got Devontae Adams. I don't know who's gonna merge out of the second best wide receiver. You pick Geronimo or Scant. What's his name? Marquez Valdez Scant. Whatever. Somebody's gonna merge. They're gonna have a good year. Aaron Jones last year emerged on a bad Packers team this year. They're gonna be better. That offense is gonna be elite, and their defense is gonna be sit there right next to him. I got the Packers hands down coming out of that division. Aaron Rodgers just back with a vengeance this year.
Aaron Rodgers is punch drunk. He's been beat up too much these last couple years. He don't want to take no more hits. That's why he leads the NFL in throwaways. He shattered the record. Because, when you break your collarbone twice, you're just scared. You just constantly
He got a better O-line. You can't phone the quarterback no more. He'll be fine.
Well, I also know, I can't remember exactly the numbers, but I know after you break your collarbone, like the risk of you breaking it again is like 70 or 80%, like something crazy. So him doing it twice, I don't wish injury on nobody, but at the same token, things become patterns, right? NFC South, this is another division that's a little up in the air for me. Falcons defense is coming in healthy. Freeman's back. Great wide receiver core again. I don't love Matt Ryan. I think that team has been totally different since Kyle Shanahan's left. The Panthers is who I wanted to pick, and then Cam Newton gets hurt on a freaking preseason game.
Shit.
And so, their defense is always solid. McCaffrey is actually a lot better than I thought he was going to be.
Facts.
A lot more durable than I thought he was going to be. Samuels, again, out of Brooklyn. Big shout out to him. He's becoming a playmaker. But Cam hurt early in the beginning of the year. He's going to take some beating. So to already be hurt, it's only going to get worse. And the Bucks, the Bucks are just trying to find themselves. They just trying to figure out. They just trying to give Jameis the millionth chance to just hope that he becomes what everyone thought I thought he was going to be, but it's looking like he's not. Bucks is just lost right now. First-year coach. They just trying to figure out what they want to do. So I got the Saints kind of winning by, I hate to say default, because what I want to see is Breeze's second half of last year. Is that going to be a trend, right? Is age catching up to him? Is those hits and everything catching up to him? Because that second half of the year, he didn't look like the same player the first half of the year.
Nope.
Michael Thomas, the big money man, I like what he's made of mentally, so I don't think that's going to affect him at all. He's still going to be big time. Kamara without Mark Ingram, I also kind of want to see that. And they got the defense. The defense last couple years stacked, but for whatever reason been starting slow. They got to start how they play in week 10 and week 1. And I think they got that division.
I don't like their defense. Eli Apple, fuck him. Marshawn Lattimore, he had a good rookie year, but last year he didn't have a good year. Cameron Jordan, and like you said, Drew.
Cameron Jordan,
Cameron Jordan, they thinking about the past, man. He's not the same player. We gonna see this. I don't like I said. I when I pay attention, I watch the line. He don't look the same to me. Like I think he's living off his past. Cameron Jordan, whatever. But like you said, Drew Brees didn't have it look good last week. He kind of saved it. He had it out right playoffs. He didn't sync it up in the playoffs. But how much more can the Saints take after that Stephon Diggs catch and that blatant no corner pass interference? Like the people's window in the NFL, like, don't think it's gonna be open for much longer. It's the NFL. I don't know how much time they have left. I think it's gonna be taking a toll on them. I know I spoke about them the whole entire time, and that's exactly why I'm going with the Falcons. The Falcons gonna be healthy this year. I think that last year they was a bad team due to strictly because of injuries. They on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm riding with the Falcons this year, and I don't see the Saints like I said, that window in the NFL, man, it's quick, and a lot of things happened in last years, and I just don't think. And Drew Brees, everybody's not Brady. He's a 40-year-old quarterback, and like you said, you see what happened in especially like the last 4 games of the season. It was night and day. So I just don't have faith in the Saints this year. I don't.
Mm-hmm. I definitely get that.
Well, at least to win the division.
I definitely get that. So we're going to get to our last division, and then we're going to get to our Super Bowl picks real quick, right? This NFC West. Cards are just going to be a terrible team. Watching them preseason just because I like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, to me, I might be, saying, I mean this. Kyler Murray throws the best ball I think I've ever seen, period. He throws the prettiest, nicest ball I've ever seen. Unfortunately, that doesn't win games. The team sucks from top to bottom. First-year coach, he keeps acting like he has this high-powered offense that no one's ever seen before. Can't wait to see it, but it doesn't matter. The Seahawks, Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll are becoming a poor man's Brady and Belichick. From this standpoint of, you got those two, you go to the playoffs. You don't necessarily know who the rest of the guys are. They draft these running backs, they draft these wide receivers, and then they don't even play. But you got those two, and somehow they just figure it out. But I don't have them making the playoffs this year. The Rams and the 49ers, right? So let me just get to the 49ers first. I love Kyle Shanahan. He's one of my favorite play callers and one of the on offense to me. They very young at wide receiver. The Hurd kid, the Debo kid. Talvin Coleman's over there. They stole him over there. They got D. Ford, Buckner, and Kawan Alexander, all stud defensive players. I'm going to put them in the wild card just because I love Kyle Shanahan. If Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy, I love Kyle Shanahan enough for them to get to the wild card. And then the Rams, who I don't fear anymore. I don't look as one of those fearful teams in the NFL, still have, to me, the best coach in Sean McVay. So that gets them over the hump. We still don't know what Gurley is anymore, but he still has knee issues, cut back. I got them just kind of winning just cause off of Sean McVay, but I like that 49ers team.
The Rams signed Eric Weddle. He was the leader of the Ravens secondary. A lot of Ravens had a lot of names on defense like they do every year, but Eric Weddle was kind of the leader.
How old is Eric Weddle?
Exactly. Yes, that's right, though. But his presence there, along with Talib, who's also longer than 2 spores, and Marcus Peters, that should help him. That should help him, if anything, Marcus Peters. Him and that locker room, they still have Aaron Donald.
Marcus Peters is wild. Nobody can help him.
At least on the field. I don't know about anything else, but at least being in the right position or doing the right thing on the field. You know what I'm saying?
On the field, he's a genius.
Yeah, but he still. What was it? What is his weakness? Is it man to man or was it that? I can't remember.
Well, the problem was, he likes to do man to man. Wade Phillips likes zones. He kind of just likes to roam and do his thing and make plays.
But the Rams, they still stacked. They got everybody. They got a nice O-line. They got Aaron Jones on the D-line. They have nice defense secondary. They have Todd Gurley coming back. And they drafted Darrell Henderson, the real star of that Memphis team, Tony Pollard. So, and I think by the time his knees give out or whatever, week 9, he'll be a fresh Darrell Henderson and coming in and is going to do, I think, probably similar to what C.J. Anderson did this last year for them. And I got the Rams coming out.
Super Bowl.
Real quick, in the wild card, I got the Panthers and the Saints in the wild card in the NFC, and I got the Ravens and the Chargers in the wild card in the AFC. Right. Super Bowl. Listen, man. If this don't pan out, can I get another pick later? I don't care. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm picking the Patriots. They should just be a default. Everybody pick the Patriots, and everybody pick their second team. My second team is the Steelers. I'm going with the Patriots, but I'm saying the Steelers. But I'm sorry.
Steelers going to the
I got the
Super Bowl.
Steelers, and I got them playing against the Packers. It's a nice business too. I got them playing against the Packers, and I got Packers winning the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers coming through. I got him in the MVP this year too. It's gonna be real lit in Green Bay. There'll be a lot of cheese this year. I sound like a Green Bay fan, but whatever. That came out wrong. But pause. But you know, Packers Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers MVP. Vintage Toy. He listened to the show. He heard you.
That's funny.
Hey, Raj.
Of course, you know, Patriots. But taking out the Patriots, this just came to me. I'm going to go Raiders, Cowboys. I don't know why.
Both teams ain't making the playoffs, man.
This is for Al Davis and Jerry. I know they always wanted it. Al, of course, is not here anymore. But, you know, Patriots, Cowboys, realistically, with the Cowboys winning and starting their new dynasty, kind of ending the Patriots dynasty and starting the new Patriot-like dynasty that they will have in the NFL. Dak MVP, of course. We've been hearing all the craziness y'all been talking about all summer.
Year 8 of picking the Cowboys. Year 8 of picking the Cowboys. It's going to get better and better. Hey, fantasy football, don't be a damn fool and not pick Zeke. He's not sitting out 2 years. He's going to be back for week 1. If he's not back for week 1, so what? Still pick him in that first top 5. You're out of your mind, man.
I'm actually not picking Zeke because of Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's going to get a lot of work this year, B. So they're going to find ways to get him the ball. So as much as I love Zeke, I'm going to stay away from him.
And about week 8, week 7, week 9-ish, look out for the future of the NFL. Dynamite Thunder Daniel Jones.
I hope so.
You see that preseason?
I hope so.
All-time great.
I can't wait.
Greatest preseason I ever saw in my life.
Hey, man, like the great Jimmy V say, man, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Oh, man, football is here.
Yes, sir.
It's only beginning.
Peace. Danny Bingo.